Let me know where you guys are joining from. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Karen. Hi, Colin. How is the weather in your heart? How are you all feeling? Some of us are feeling great. Some of us are feeling old emotions are coming up, hanging in there. Yeah. And some metaphor I was using for a client today was like, we are checking in with our scars. They're not open wounds, but the scars are reminding of our past. And it's just like becoming aware of it, and having some tools really helps us to be strong, holding on, and especially on the tough times, and I was connecting to some astrology reports as well, like seeing with the Venus and the Pluto, how it's all coming in together and the old shadow wounds are coming up. So all makes sense with the solar flares. So we just need to hang in, getting healing, meditations, taking care of our diet, and moving our body. These are really some of the things we need to hold on to at these times. Yeah. Yes, old emotions coming up. Yeah. And like we think we have solved it, and where are these coming back, right? So, welcome everyone. I'm bringing you with a new topic today. Usually I do come in the mornings. My name is Sri Manju. I'm joining here from Seattle, and here the weather is great, super sunny, and the hot weather is great too, to be here with you guys. So here a lot of clients do ask me, like, how do I trust? Um, because we have never been told we can trust ourselves. So it is one of those muscles that we really need to work hard from time to time. Do you all agree with that? Did any one of you have those parents or a society backgrounds where you was told, like, you are spot on, like, go ahead and achieve what you want to, you're always right? No. We were always questioned about our self-worth, or questioning our choices or our decision making as well. And when you will look back, as you come into the awakening, you realize most of them are not even ours. These fears are not even ours. We all had the capability to trust ourselves. And trusting ourselves on the intuition is one of the key things we all need to have, no matter what we are doing in our life. Do you let me know, let's make it more interactive as well. Let me know in the comments, do you guys are comfortable in trusting yourself? Do you remember the decisions you have taken trusting your intuition? I had so many things from my childhood have been flooding back. Yeah. Because that's some key thing, we always feel sense that our intuition, we haven't been able to take action or trust in because we could be wrong. The fear of it, does that make sense to you? Because that's something that has been quite actively for years that I had to work on, even to getting into the college, even what kind or where to book the holiday, or booking flights, simple things, would also be really hindering our abilities to stand in the faith of ourselves. Some of the things that I'm going to share, maybe some of you know it already or have been working on it actively. Do think about, maybe something we have forgotten as well, it could be a memory of it coming back. Yeah. So I do have some tools that I would love to share about it. And I made a note of them all, thinking about today's topic. So I'll be referring back into the notes as well. So I don't want to miss any part of it. The first thing I would love to go back is into the trust, intuition, the fear, anxiety, they're all kind of very much linked in as well, right? When we are trusting our intuition, immediately the fear comes on, like, what if I'm wrong? What if this is the worst thing? Like, what if it's going to spoil someone? Like, the fear is always going to be coming in. The intuition part is so beautiful, so subtle, so like, telling us like, go in like, full on, and just that's it, like very subtle, your own voices. But the fear gets you like the anxiousness, breathlessness, the tight knot in your belly as well. Yeah. So that is a one major difference that you need to be re-looking into it anytime, like, questioning, is that my ego mind, or is that my higher self telling me about my intuitions? And that is where you are going to be first and foremost aligning yourself. If we can differentiate it, that's like we have conquered, like, reaching to the Mount Everest, like, that is a big thing. Because a lot of people, I didn't know about it as well, like, until I was into Reiki and I started learning about like intuition. Okay, we all have the capability of it. Then in one of the meditation earlier in the days, it just dropped in that kind of knowingness is, even as a baby, we knew how to trust. We had this intuition, whom to go to, whom not to be comfortable around. And like, now we don't remember what we were like when we were a baby. But when you look around the babies, you do notice, like, if you're going to go to them and cuddle, some do come, some don't come, or don't go to other people. It's just because they don't feel comfortable. One thing is their energies, it could be, or, oh, they don't have the experience to handle me, like, So as babies, we did know like how to react intuitively, like, but as the conditions have been applied to us since the age of 6 and 7, we have started to shut down and now re-exploring ourselves. So that knowingness is the most important thing. Say, for example, like, when you're ordering in McDonald's, sure, like, being on the inside, not many of us do like that kind of a processed food. But when you're ordering, you just know it, like, it's not good for me. But still, we do go and order. And afterwards, we feel like, oh, I wish I should have listened to me. I should have resisted myself from ordering it, like, because our tummy upset, or you weren't feeling good, like the crazy food may not have been about it. Yeah. And that is where, like, the major things, like I'm saying, like, we all have the abilities. It's just the way we have used it or not used it. What is the biggest thing that we are going to be connecting into? First and foremost is, like, understanding the difference between the intuition and the fear or the anxiety, and trusting it. The other thing is writing things down. That really helped me. When I was new into my psychic awareness, opening up my higher senses, the third eye and the crown and the soul star chakra, that is where I started noticing, like, oh, I'm feeling this, but I don't know, can I really take a leap of faith onto that? So my husband suggested to write that down in my journal. If I feel something, write it down. So when I look back, I have some resource to trust on myself. Oh, that really did happen, like, or this didn't happen. So you are very strong about your knowingness, and you don't need to judge or prove to anyone. You just need to prove to yourself that you were right and you had something to refer back to. And now it becomes so easier. Like, we can type in quickly on our phones as well, self-text yourself, or a note as well, like, if you don't like journaling. So that is other great way to hold on to the facts and your own information. Say, for example, 10 things you wrote down about what you're trusting or what your intuition was telling you to do, and you did it. And now we can refer back and access that information. Did I go wrong? Yes and no. And if so, did it lead me to happiness? Yes and no. So simple as that, self-reflection becomes stronger. And then at the end, like, say, for example, 8 things out of 10 have been, like, accurate for you. You have been witnessing that kind of a shift and a change. You're so proud that you can do it. And that becomes easier when you're making a bigger choices or bigger decisions. Say, for example, relationship or a job or change in the country as well, like, major life changes. to begin those exercises, I wouldn't suggest to do your betting on the bigger changes. Smaller ones are great to start with. So when you build your journaling onto these habits of trusting, you will notice that the bigger ones become much easier, and you're going to have your 100% faith onto your intuition and no ifs and buts. If someone says any other story, it is their story, not your story. And that makes it easier for us to, all right, okay, I'm going to connect to myself and sit with that. That's it. Like, no matter what, I'm going to take that leap of faith. And when you notice that strength is building up, which also gives you the strength, no matter what happens with your decision, you're still holding yourself. That's the beauty about it. And holding yourself, I do mean by, like, say, for example, you had to, like, trust in and make a decision of changing your job, and you change your job and it's not going as you visioned it, it's going in a different direction. But with your trust and the energy that you're holding on to, as it's going on a different direction, you can speak up to the authority and say, hey, this is not what we agreed for. This is not what I'm happy about it. You're able to use your vocal cords. So your energy systems and vortex are going to be opened and more in a line that you're able to take and share what you feel as well. A lot of us do suppress ourselves, not speak up, right? Our throat center doesn't get activated, or you feel like, no, I'm not supposed to say, I'm going to hurt someone. But when your intuition is so aligned and stronger, everything around you is much easier. We are not in the repeat game of the past, why that happened, where that happened. All that is going to be much easier baggage. Are you guys with me on that? Do you like that? Have you followed writing it down? I have a better intuition when it comes to my daughter than for myself. Absolutely. And great that you can agree on that. And that means you can apply the same formula on yourself. Like, it was the other way around for me is my kids taught me when they were babies, younger kids, they taught me their intuition and they reminded me of what I had a gift. So I was trying to learn along with them, to trusting and intuition. And now sometimes they do forget it. So I can remind them back what they are already gifted with. It's interesting how our own family does share that. Animals have the best intuition about people. We could learn a lot about them. Absolutely. And one of the things is, um, I think it's such a beautiful gift. They don't overanalyze. They don't overthink about the things. They are not stuck in a loop of a pattern of thoughts. That's where the animals are such a beautiful gift to us, right? And they can act on the intuition. If they feel their owner is not well, they can immediately act on it because they're not overthinking. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm just barking for no reason? Like, what if I'm creating a scene? We do that. And that's where we are stuck and hold ourselves in such a frequency that we have to do a lot of work to be out there and connect. I question myself a lot, but my intuition about events health are right on. Indecisive is a better word than trusting myself. I trusted now. I ignored it many times in the past and made terrible decisions. I need to work on my trusting. Yes. And we do know that when we didn't act on it, like, especially when you journal them down, like, bummers, I should have trusted, like you'd realize where we didn't trust. But what happens because you're opening up one of your psychic senses, clear senses of it, you're also accepting and forgiving yourself for that very fact. I made a mistake. But first thing is, I actually trusted myself and made a decision, even though it was telling me not to go for it. I still did. I was brave enough to do it. And now I don't have a regret because I tried it. What if it's not A, it's plan B, and yet you're acting on it, right? And you feel that energy of, like, self-worth, and your inner child is so strong on, because the children, if you notice it, for me, as you guys said about the animals, for me, it's about the children that I actively observe them, is they make a decision, they don't overthink. And this is below 10 years old, like, they don't overthink. And if they spill something, they spill, like, they don't know the consequences of what it is. But that is a freedom they're living with, which is amazing, right? And that's what we need to be taking on and learning as well. Yeah. Other thing is journaling. And one thing is like, understanding how your intuition speaks. How does your intuition speak? For some, it's a good kind of a butterfly feel in your belly. For some, it could be a goosebumps or like, cold energy or a warm energy or like just feeling right, like, hard to express, but it's feeling right. I feel good about it, like, or I feel going to this trip is not good enough. That itself is an intuition. You have no explanation. The feel or the senses are the most prominent. So checking in with your clair senses, which one are you naturally gifted with? Here, everyone is gifted with one of our clair senses. The other ones we are opening, developing, and working on, right? But we need to understand, like, feeling, sensing, which one am I right? But some people I have noticed, like, their hands shake a bit, like, when they're taking a decisions as well, like, between the right and wrong, or the eyes twitch as well for some people. So being very confident and being aware of it is the most important thing that we need to be connecting into. You feel like a sense of relief, like, oh, this is right. This is what I'm so inclined into. And this is beyond the facts, beyond the all the other graph information that you might be collecting and all, like, the first feel you get is spot on, like, always right. Even like, if someone is on like Tinder or some dating or like, trying to go for a movie, you get a feel, I'm going to have a good time today. It's not even about the movie, it's about having a good time, and you hold on to it. Even the movie is so not great, you still feel good because you met some of your old friend and you just had a great time afterwards, right? So that is where again you are tuning in and connecting to your intuition so strongly, feeling and knowing your strengths, which way you are going to identify your intuition is the most important thing. On the other hand, like, if it's our ego or a fear, a lot of us have this tummy churn, like, kind of a sick feel, kind of an upset feel, like, your system goes into a shutdown or a contraction kind of a feel. And we identify that, like, how the breath becomes so uneasy or the chest is so tight to breathe in as well, like in comfortable way. So that is where our, like, trying to suppress or the ego is taking over our own intuitions and not letting us feel into. And before you even, like, is there anyone who doesn't know your strength of how you can identify your own intuition? It took me a while to identify my intuition. Through journaling, I discovered. And then now I know for sure it's a goosebumps, like, like a stream of energy runs through my spine, and knowingness into my heart center is what it is. That intuition. And now I would say, like, I can't give you a reason, but I know it is what we have to do it. So identifying is way of, like, when you're making a decision, write it down. So today I'm wherever you want, like, what do I want to feel like, when you wake up in the morning, say, for example, say to yourself, I just know today is going to be a challenging day, and write it down, hold it thought, and check in with yourself. Is there any proof that it's going to be a challenging day? Were you aware of it? It's totally that energy that dropped into you saying it's a challenging day. Hold on to that and ask yourself, where do I feel that energy? Do I feel good or bad? It's like a muscle testing in your own self. And when you do that, you might get like, oh, it's my head saying. Sometimes it does trick us. Sometimes, no, actually, I feel it in my body. Like, it's going to be a challenging one, but not going to be so tough. So with that, end of the day, go back to your journal and check in. What kind of a day was it? Maybe you were going to sign a contract, it didn't go ahead. And then later you realize, like, because you were going to be underselling something, like, so it did happen for a good reason. It stopped you from it. And that challenging moment has made you be aware of what you were going to do as well. So that becomes easier. But first thing is, where was it? Like, and when you come back and recheck in yourself, like, if it is the heart feeling or like a goosebumps feel you had it, now you can identify, okay, this is what I felt it. And for the next couple of days, do the same exercise on different aspects and notice, is it consistently the same way that you're feeling in your body? And that will be your strength to go back onto. And once you have this muscle of knowingness be stronger, you're going to be using it in different ways, and different other options are going to come up as well. Like, the other options will be coming up generally through meditations, because your mind is calmer. And when the mind is calmer, your stream, your thought is more kind of like one pattern that you will identify much easily as well, without the noise of different things. I also get messages through music. Sometimes things pop in my head out of the blue. Absolutely. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah. Messages do pop in, like, like a little wisdom or a thought or a connection, like, do pop in. And I'm not making this up. Like, I was driving the car in the morning to go to my work, I think over 10 years ago. It's still dark. It was the wintry morning. And I saw right in front of me, the car had two bicycles attached on the roof. And that thought came in, the cycles are going to be dislocated. So I was pulled onto the side track of it. In between the two lanes, I was pulled onto the side into the faster lane. Was in Ireland. So the faster lane was on the right side. So I was pulled onto it. And after like less than a mile, I see this car was pulled on, and there were some debris on the road with all the cycles being left there. So it was like, you just know it, you need to act on it. That's a most important thing. Yeah. When those ideas do come in, safely maneuver around, this is the driving, but it could be something else. Maneuver around. What if that's right? I'm being told to be taken care of, like, so you're listening to your intuition. Your intuition, when we strengthen up your guides, your angels, or any light beings that you're communicating to you, will become much easier because you are trusting it. Music, a lot of people do say, like, I did go through a phase of it, but it's not my personal strength. But people do feel like, it's that word is just sitting in, like, or there is a message coming through that music. Yeah. I get nausea or goose flesh if someone is evil or bad. Absolutely. And that is your intuition of it, picking up on the negative energies. The negative energies also can be picked up, like, intuitively, is by feeling nausea or cranky, or like, your back starts aching. You feel dizzy and kind of like, spacey as well. Yeah. How is everyone going through? Does it all making sense? Some memories or some strengths up there? So here is that, so in the meditation, what you need to be setting up, like I believe most of you do meditations. That's the reason we are here on the Insight Timer. Through your meditations, you can definitely strengthen up, like, your skills. Say you can set an intention. For me, meditations, Reiki healing is all about the intentions. So I do set an intention saying, like, through this meditation, I really want to strengthen my intuition skills. And by that, you are giving yourself, your higher self, the permission. Yes, I want to strengthen up. And by that, as you're doing these exercises of questioning and playing by it, like, you are going to be more strong on those skills. Simple meditations, conscious breathing, it could be like, becoming aware of the light energy flowing through, it could be, or if you're into Reiki healing, doing Reiki healing and setting an intention, hey, this is what it is. Or the other thing is like crystals as well, like, holding a crystal and asking crystals to amplify your intuition are great. Clear quartz is good. And amethyst crystal is super good as well to strengthen our intuition, because it's for the third eye. As a third eye, the psychic abilities are strengthening up. Your intuition is getting stronger as well. And most of it, not only the society, but the other fears that we hold on to opening up our intuition is the past lifetimes, where in the past lifetimes, we would have misused it, or we wouldn't have played it safely, or protected ourselves, we do have those fears of it. Like, what if something goes wrong? Like, I'm taking myself the full authority. And the other thing is as well, like, doing some other inner work as well. For me, the other part was, which I mentioned in my book as well, Connect Your Inner Guide. We do blame others, and we don't take responsibility for ourselves. Does anyone relate to that? For me, it was very much easier because that's how I saw people around me doing it. And until one time, I felt like enough of it. Like, why do I need to blame others for my mistakes? I need to own myself. And when I started owning myself, like, I was taking more responsibility for myself, and I was following the intuition much easily rather than letting myself. But we do blame others because we haven't been taking responsibility of ourselves. We weren't trusting ourselves. We weren't guided to trust ourselves. We weren't given the freedom to take that actions leading up to our intuitions as well. Say, like, I wanted to study doctor, but I couldn't score enough, but a strong urge was there for me. But because I didn't score enough, like, I felt like, okay, my choices are not right. My intuition is not right. But now looking back, like, 25 years, here I am, like, working in the healing path or spirituality. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Didn't have a better word. So look back into the stories that you have been telling yourself or someone telling you on your decisions, on your intuitions as well. And mostly that will open up yourself. Savasana opens third eye. That's beautiful. Yeah, because you're resting, and that is a beautiful meditation. Sorry, drinking my cacao there. Savasana is a great one, like, just like meditation, mindfulness exercise as well is connecting to your inner self. I do find, like, doing meditation, if anyone has these pyramid structures, copper pyramid structures, they are great tools to meditate underneath because they are like amplifying your third eye and the crown center as well. So there are beautiful ways to do the meditation other than the crystals. Walk in the nature. Nature really amplifies again, just like the animals. The Mother Earth doesn't question, doesn't judge us. We can be ourselves. Like, that's a good exercise, actually. If anyone is around the park right now listening, or going to go to the park later, or you have a tree in your backyard or something, or even flower garden, go around and check in with your intuition. Which one is really speaking to you? Feel the energies. And by feeling the energies, you are going to open up yourself and connect into, and you will be getting a message, or you'll be developing a relationship with that particular plant, it could be, or a tree, it could be. Because a lot of times it's like developing that intuition is you're going to open up yourself from not the norm, from the higher beings as well. And the plants are such a beautiful, non-judgmental beings that they can hold the space for us. Do you guys use your intuition in the nature much often? It's like carrying your journal book and go into the nature and check in. What do you feel? Where do you feel like your wisdom flows in much deeply? And sometimes it's much easier to make those choices or the actions easily as well being in the nature. And the other one is with the intuition. Say, for example, it's saying you to take a bus, 112 number bus to this particular spot. If you're feeling good, go for it and get onto that bus and feel what you're going to experience. Be with that open mind. Open mind is so important. Taking actions with an open mind. Just because your intuition said, but which way are you? Like, intuition will guide us to get to a place, but need not be the place always of the happy spot. It could be a place for us to learn a lesson, meet an old kind of a lesson as well, like, but being there is most important thing. Like, without being there, like some points of our dots are not connected. And that's where it is about, like, I had the intuition that I'll be moving to US like 8 years back. but we moved only 4 years back, but that intuition has been dropped. We didn't make an action at the time, but we didn't know how to make an action about it. But then it just came down to us and we had to go with the flow of it. Like, things become easier, but a seed would also be planted as well. So if you're going towards being a healer or a coach or working with people in any capacity, having that nudge and being aware of your intuition really helps to connect to the people so deeply. It could be in the Costco, that you are walking down the aisle and you get this intuition, speak to the woman right in front of you. If you go and speak, she might really needing an assistance right there because she might have gotten her glasses and she can't see what she's picking up, so do take those actions and you're not going to be wrong. You're going to be taken care of, protected as well. And if it is kind of, again, the energy of the fear coming in, of course, Archangel Michael, that we talk about often, guys who follow me, that, he's always going to be there to take care of us, or you have your spirit guides taking care of you. I've been very open when I'm in Hawaii. I don't get out into nature much in LA. Yeah, that's other thing as well, with the energies in the locations do really impact our intuition of our energy beings as well. Yeah. Some of the locations we need to do extra work. Some of the locations are so beautiful, you just don't need to do any work. I was celebrating my birthday on Sunday, and I chose to be at a ley line junction closer to here in Seattle. And we went there into that portal, and it was so beautiful. Before going in, I was resisting, don't want to get out of the bed, kind of an energy day. And then when we went there, it's just like no thought zone. It's so beautiful being just not in the nature, but the energy portal was so easier. I could connect with the spirit beings with no effort, could channel in the energy with nothing obstructing as well. So I get you, what you mean. In those moments, taking a picture or taking, if the land gives you the permission, taking a little rock or something, bringing home and connecting to those energies still, infuse yourself with the same place, really upbeats yourself. Yeah. Thank you guys for your wishes. How is everyone feeling? Just checking any more points. Body awareness is the most important thing. Journaling, mindfulness. Yeah, having your creative expressions is also so important. Connecting into your intuition, creative expressions like writing, art, music, dance, all these are about your sacral chakra, the movement in your body. Think about the yoga or Tai Chi, all these energy work in your body is keeping you more mobile, agile, so you're not stiff. When you have to make a decision, with that comes in the baggage of if it's right or wrong, I'm taking in that leap of faith. And this moment, this energy work will also help us to hold our back, to support us as well. Yeah. So simultaneously, we are working along with it. Generally, some people love to do something creative. Some we are stuck because of the old patterns. Someone has told us we are not good at it, we don't use it. But now think about you're opening this portal for yourself with your permission into the capacity that you enjoy it. So you are becoming more flexible. It's like you go to the gym once and you can't see yourself having a flat tummy or six pack in a day, right? It does take time to build that up, those muscles up. And here that's so important, to build our muscles of intuition. But you will be reflecting back, looking back in a month's time and feeling proud about yourself that, yes, I did it. And this is so amazing and I can do it. And so as you'll be sharing your tools or tips with other people as well, allowing them to trust themselves. So as if I'm making those choices based on my intuition, if someone says, hey, because of my intuition, I want to do this, I would be 100% supporting because there is some truth in their intuition. It may not be mine, but it is someone's. There was an opportunity to co-facilitate for a workshop for this month. And after saying yes, immediately my energy said, don't say yes, don't commit for it. And I really had to act on it. And then when I acted saying, hey, actually, I just want to withdraw from this part of it, don't want to be, I'm not ready for it. It felt so liberating when you act on it. It feels good. You feel liberated. You're not in the tight feel of like, you have to do something or be um just compromising yourself, even like, giving your life force out for something. Yeah. Joshua Tree, I hear that it's on my checklist to go. Tired in bed here, middle of the night here, and very warm. This is why I woke. Thank you for being here. I think we lost the connection there just for a moment. So how is everyone feeling? So just a little recap. Make sure you're journaling what your intuitions are about, asking questions so you have an answers that your intuition is guiding you towards, and looking into like meditating and acting, reflecting at the end of the day, so you know where you have gone wrong or right, and you're building your own intuition muscle so strongly that your S's will be always more higher than nose, and also reflect onto the nose of why it is coming up, what is the lesson that you learned through there, meditating or with an intention setting of mindfulness, connecting more often to the nature as well. And those really will help you to tighten your intuition, and you will be differentiating first and foremost to differentiate which is your intuition, which is your ego, which is your fear, talking about it and ruling, separating them out and just going by the intuition. Like, intuition can come in like, whatever it is, like, yes and no, this is good, this is not good, like, but believing into your own intuition and trusting yourself is the most important thing. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope that has resonated with you and given you some reminders or a prompts to come back and take care of yourself. Like, I never wanted to disappoint anyone and never said no. It manifested. Absolutely. Health is always the one. Like, yeah. And saying that, like, health reminded me of like, I was seeing my cardiologist for a few months, and my intuition said she's not the right one anymore. Like, and then I pleaded her to get me a second opinion, and bang on. The second one was exactly more spiritually aligned. She does the cacao ceremonies. She listens to Joe Dispenza. She talks about Tony Robinson. We do have a good connection. And that was like intuition leading to ask for second opinion by another person. And here the right alignment comes in through as well. So do listen to your intuition. Don't delay it. Like, sometimes we do delay by years, even thinking about, I wish I acted it sooner. But do listen, because your intuition is always spot on, and it's your gut, it's your alignment. And that's the most important thing. If you enjoyed this and you would love to know more about my offerings, do check in my bio. I do have some of the events coming up this week on Thursday for sure on the Akashic Records meditations, and next week as well I have updated few, and there are a few tracks. I'm waiting for the sign-offs from the Insight Timer guys, so you'll have some of the podcast and meditations up there. And if you feel like an energy exchange, please do make a donation, as that will help me and the Insight Timer, as the part of the funds are being shared. And other ways you guys can support our work is by leaving a message or a review on our audio tracks as well. Yeah. And there are some of the meditations I have up there on the chakra alignment, which are great for intuition as well. Yeah. So do check that out. Thank you, Melanie, for your donation. Thank you. So as you are amazing too. Yeah, I'm going to be programming some more new topics. It's been a while, like, other than the meditations, I haven't been coming up with new topics. So I'll be organizing a few more as well coming up. Yeah. And these are the most important tools. Like, sometimes I used to feel like, oh, you're all like, because I'm aware of it now. I feel like everyone knows me, everyone knows all these. But sometimes, even for me to listen back, it's just a reflection of things that we forget or slip out of our way that we need to bring it back. Yeah. So, with that, I really hope something has come up for you guys and you are able to trust yourself. And I do have a few more tools to share, like, as I'm running out of the time, I do have a client coming up shortly. So we'll be scheduling a part two or something. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for listening in, tuning in, and holding the space for each other here. Lots of love. And gently bringing your palms on your heart center, breathing in and out. Just for a moment, if you're not driving, closing your eyes, feeling the heart energy. Breathing in and out, feeling into your body, and allowing, opening up this beautiful intuition to dive in and guide you and hold the space and protect and share with you the best of its knowing. Watch out if the intuition is diving you for a book or someone to connect to and make an action. Thank you so much, guys. Lots of love. It was pleasure connecting you all at this different timing. Generally, I'm in the morning hours. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and sleep well. Enjoy your evening or the morning. See you soon. Good night, Emily. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you so much.